It's Elise here at the YA section here of Bowman Library with another teen book spotlight. So our theme this week, we are diving into Hispanic Heritage Month, which for those of you who don't know, it's currently taking place. It takes place between September 15th and October 15th. So we are taking a look at some of the books that we have here that are written by Latino and Latina authors. And one of the things I love about this is the fact that so many of the authors we're going to talk about today have written more than just the one book that I'm going to talk about. So if you end up reading one of their books and you love it, there are other books by that same author for you to read and experience and enjoy. So we're going to get started. Our first one is The Inexplicable Logic of My Life by Benjamin Sainz. It's the beginning of senior year, and Sal feels his life is where it should be. He feels accepted by his Mexican-American adopted family, and he has an amazing best friend, Samantha, who really gets him. But as the year starts progressing, he starts to kind of change, and he starts to kind of feeling angry about things and starts lashing out at people and getting into fights. And Sal is really confused. He doesn't really know where this is coming from, and he starts wondering, given the fact that he's adopted, was this like how he was born? And he starts struggling with all of these feelings he has about really not knowing his biological background. And then Samantha suffers her own personal tragedy, which then leads to Sal and his family taking Samantha in as one of their own. While they're trying to make their way through all of that, Sal and Sam meet Fido. He's looking for his place in life, he's new, he's struggling, and they decide to help him find his way. Well, and again, then all this is happening and Sal realizes he's a senior in high school. He needs to start figuring out what does the future hold for him after his senior year is done. The college applications, the essays, the decision making, and he doesn't know if he's ready to leave his comfort zone of his security and his family. This realistic book is one that every reader will find something to relate to, as it doesn't matter what your background is, we all experience the same things. The Inexplicable Logic of My Life. With the Fire on High by Elizabeth Acevedo. If you love the poet X, you will love With the Fire on High. High school senior Amoni loves to cook and bake, work part-time, and is a single mother living with her abuela in Philadelphia. She joins a culinary class that ends with a week-long culinary trip to Spain. And she starts to try to figure out how she's gonna juggle everything that she is. Like, she's a student, she's a person, she's a mother, she's a granddaughter, she's a best friend, she has relationships with people, and she's trying to figure out what her passions are in life. And then on top of all of that, she has to figure out things that most high school seniors don't have to deal with, like daycare, custody issues, and making ends meet. But Moni decides she needs to be true to herself and do what she needs to do that's going to make her future and her happiness possible. And if that means cooking, then that means cooking. Filled with food, cooking, baking, this gritty, realistic fiction novel will have you along for the ride as she tries to figure out what is going to be her happiness in life. With the Fire on High. Mexican White Boy by Matt de la Pena. No matter where Danny lives, he does not fit in, as he is half Mexican and he is half white. He doesn't fit in at his private school, and he doesn't fit in with the Mexican side of his family. So Danny's solution to all that is just to shut everyone off and be by himself. Instead, though, for the summer, he has spent the whole summer with his dad's side of the family. And that is to help him get in touch with his Mexican roots. While he is away, he has a baseball incident with this other kid named Uno. Uno's an African American who's dealing with his own struggles, and the two of them kind of realize quickly that they have more in common than what they ever would have thought, and they find themselves becoming fast friends. As their lives start to intertwine, Danny finds himself trying to figure out where he fits in, and even if he falls into the box that everyone's trying to put him in, or is it okay if he redefines what that box looks like? Mexican white boy. Oh, this one is so good. Yaki Delgado Wants to Kick Your Ass by Meg Medina. Pity is at a new high school in Queens and is finding her way through this new life when one day this girl walks up to her and tells her that Yaki Delgado wants to kick her ass. Pity has no idea where this is coming from or who this person even is or why Yaki Delgado would want to hate her enough to do all of this. As Pity starts to think through all of this, you as the reader, you get sucked back into Pity's life. And you find out, you see through Pity's eyes why she is the way she is and how she even ended up at this new school. And I'm going to tell you right now, it was not necessarily a choice she made. This is an amazing book that will leave you speechless, and it is such a great tool to remind us that it's always important to put ourselves in other people's shoes, as well as we don't know what everyone is going through, so a little bit understanding can go a long way. Yaki Delgado Wants to Kick Your Ass. I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter by Erica Sanchez. 15-year-old Julia is not seen as perfect by her Mexican-American family, especially when she is compared to her older sister Olga, who is the definition of perfect in her family. Julia wants to go to college in New York City, and she wants to become a writer. Well, Olga, who's already graduated high school, has taken the perfect route, that she's going to community college, she's working part-time, she's living at home, and she's taking care of the family. When her sister Olga, though, dies unexpectedly, Julia finds herself wishing that she was closer to her older sister and wishes that she knew more about her. So she decides she's going to start, looking into Olga's life and, finding out maybe what she missed and what she didn't know about her. But as she starts to dig into her sister's life, Julia starts to realize that Olga was not as perfect as what her family thought and what she let her family know. Part mystery, part realistic fiction, part dealing with families, you will find yourself in Julia's shoes with the whole way relating to her thoughts and feelings about her life and family, especially if you have siblings. Chances are you've kind of experienced either Olga's situation or Julia's situation, and you can be right there with them. I Am Not Your Perfect Mexican Daughter. And our last one is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. Aaron is 16 years old, living in the Bronx projects, and with his family, minus his father, who just recently committed suicide. He's just trying to find happiness again, but it doesn't seem that that's going to happen. And not only is Aaron dealing with the loss of his father, but he still is trying to grieve for some of his friends who were tragically murdered. They're living in poverty, and he's really struggling with the fact that he thinks he may be gay. When he learns about this institute that can wipe his mind clean and reprogram his memory, he decides that this is probably going to be the answer for him. He can have everything that is hard on him gone. As Aaron struggles, though, with the decision on having this procedure done, though, he meets Thomas, and Thomas and him kind of hit it off and starts to kind of change Aaron's mind and his outlook on life. But Aaron starts to realize that his happiness may come at a price, and he doesn't know if he's willing to pay that price. This realistic fiction book has, meets science fiction a little bit, and it is amazing because it gets so deep that you start bringing up questions to yourself that deal with ethical dilemmas and societal issues and, what does it actually mean to be happy? More happy than not. So again, these are just 6 of the books that we have here at Bowman that have these amazing authors, but I promise you, we do have more. So if none of these 6 interested you, feel free to come on by and we will help you find the book that you're looking for. I hope to see you next week when we have another Teen Book Spotlight with a completely different theme, and have a great week.